You're a grown fucking woman, and that shit don't make no kind of sense.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Absolutely. So if you like to follow my social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go have fun, enjoy yourself on there. And while you're here, check out some of my recent videos. Pre-filming, get this right. Okay. Yesterday I would have posted an everyone is bothering me type video where I talk my shit. Yes, before that I would have posted a video talking about how To All the Boys I'll Ever Love Before is one of the best things Netflix has ever produced. No, it's true. Please don't try to argue with me in the comments. And then before that, I posted a video discussing like one of my like rambly rants, discussing like what happened to the beauty YouTuber. And today's gonna be another rambly rant, kind of, to a certain degree. Okay. I have no idea what I'm titling this. Most of the time when I sit down and make a video like this, or any video at all, I pretty much know what I'm gonna title it. I don't. So if this is a question, I'm sure you can answer it with like misogyny. So like I understand that. It's a rhetorical question if I'm asking the question. And yeah, okay. So I've been talking about this topic in any video where it relates to, so a lot. So a lot. It's just here and there, but I wanted to sit down and do a whole video on it because I believe people are losing their minds. No, it's true. And I'm not really gonna like I can't let this happen. I can't let this continue. Like y'all tried to destroy teenage girls in the 2010s, like when I was one, and you're trying to do that right now again. And it's like even more damaging to a certain degree because like regular people not even can get famous but can just get seen like with no intention to be seen, but they're being seen because random adults want to make fun of them. Like, do you see how we have so many issues? Not social media is a beautiful thing. I love it clearly, but there are issues that arise, right? Like completely regular people can get famous on TikTok and y'all, or Twitter too. Twitter, oh, that's a different video. And y'all will spew your vitriol and misogyny onto them, and like no one is built for that, especially not people who did not set out to be famous, quote unquote. Like, okay. And then the pandemic, of course, has you guys losing your minds at a faster rate and has a bunch of adults being even angrier at literal children for no reason. And I'm like, yeah, I'm losing my mind too, but I'm not harassing teenage girls on Twitter because I have nothing else to do. So like maybe we're at different points, okay? And right now I've seen a lot of tweets on Twitter like talking about how people are going back to interests they had at 14, which is a beautiful thing, or like 13, that they were like made fun of for having. And I'm like, that's great. But actually, that's where we'll start actually. So let's talk about the way society hates teenage girls. Here's my first example. Why do you guys make fun of things, not like, people make fun of things that teenage girls like simply because teenage girl likes them. Twilight is my first example, or pretty much any book series, any YA book series, like it would something that's actually made for teenagers to read, and yet people would make fun of teenagers for reading them. I want you to sit and think, because I know someone's gonna be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop being dense. I would like you to sit down and think of any hobby, any interest actually, that a teenage girl would have they wouldn't be made fun of for having. That they wouldn't be made fun of for having. Any. All right, let's start with what I'm doing on my face right now. Makeup. Oh. You want to be a makeup artist? That's where you're gonna spend your time. Didn't you know you look better without makeup? But you should still put the makeup on. But you want to learn how to put it on properly? Ooh, no. 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 Like, why don't you read a book or something? Okay, so reading. You must think you're better than everyone else. Reading, but you probably read that YA bullshit, even though YA means young adult, and a young adult is reading a genre made for young adults and gets fun of for reading said drama made for young adults. That's stupid. You must think you're better than everyone else because you like to read, right? Why don't you like go pick up a ball and throw it or something? Oh, sports? No way. No way. You know why? Because men will have to give you a 50-question test like you're literally taking the SAT. on like this glorified game of like catch and fetch to make sure you quote unquote really understand it, because they don't actually believe. Like, you are quizzing somebody on a game of fetch that's had a super spreader event last week that anyone could understand. But it's a problem. Like, you need to get away from us. Why don't you go do art or something? Oh, but you like art? You're one of those artsy fartsy indie girls? Oh yeah, we can't have that either. Why do you spend so much time painting and drawing? I don't get it. You really must think you're like, since you're super artsy, that you're better than everyone else who does like sports, but they just made fun of you for doing sports. Other people that do like makeup, but they just made fun of you for doing makeup, right? Why can't you be interested in like clothes or like designing clothes or being a model like everyone else? But, oh wait. You wanna be a fashion designer? You wanna be a model? You wanna like do fashion in some sort of sense? You think you're hot fucking shit, don't you? Don't you? Cause you went to the thrift store and put together 3 pieces. You think you're hot fucking shit. You think you're special, and you're not. Do you see how there's literally no winning? And you could keep going on and on and on, because there's always a fucking problem. There's always a problem. The problem is the teenage girl enjoying themselves. That's the problem. That's the problem. Not, maybe I should unpack why I hate everything teenage girls do, no matter like what it is. That's not the problem. The problem is all of these hobbies. It's always a problem. It's always a problem. It's always an issue. And God forbid, and it's like, who is allowed to do said hobby? Because you'll make fun of teenage girls for doing these hobbies. Then Then you'll make fun of like people who are not teenage girls doing these hobbies. It's like, what's, and you'll be like, it's meant for teenage girls. But then you'll make fun of the teenage girls for doing the same hobby. It doesn't make any sense. Do you see how I'm, like, you try to reason stuff out, but when stuff is based in like just pure misogyny, it doesn't make any sense. Because it's not supposed to. Like, it's not supposed to be based in any sort of logic or reasoning. It's supposed to be based in literal, like, ludicrous at this point. And that's just off, those are hobbies, like, off social media. It's a whole new beast once we get onto social media. Let's talk about the very concept of a fandom, right? So it's not just teenage girls that are in fandoms, of course, but it's a big chunk, and like the biggest chunk is just teenagers in general, right? So a teenage girl really likes an artist, or like really likes an artist or a band or something, and it's a problem. I don't get it. Teenage girls, they freak out over a boy band or an artist, and they get grown adults grown on late night television making fun of their interests. They get grown adults on YouTube making fun of them for expressing their interests in a public place. You want to shame people back into having to hide their own interests, but you don't do this to nobody else. You don't do this to another group of people. Like, teenage girls really like a television show or a movie series, and it's a problem, but it wasn't a problem when you were decided who to market to. It wasn't a problem then. Stan culture, of course, like has its issues or whatever. You could talk about those for days, but one thing that I do believe that's like a very, very good thing that it does create is it gives people a place to express, but usually young. Not everyone on Stan Twitter is a teenager, but a lot of people are. It gives people a place to express themselves and dive into their interests with people who are also interested in that thing, and not everyone has people around them who like the same things that they do, or they might have people subscribing to these ideals that I'm talking about and like making fun of them for literally just having interest at the age of 14. So they'll turn to, like, when in the past you would go to Tumblr and now you would turn to Twitter. Major issues come out of like that direct change. Major issues that were on Tumblr as well, but there's like whatever, different video. But so now they turn to Twitter to like meet people who share some of the same interests as them. That's a great thing, but that's a problem apparently. That's a problem. That's still a problem. I don't understand what the issue is. Because, okay, let's see. Let's go there. Okay, so stans get made fun of. Okay, whatever. But what is a sports fan? In all seriousness, I believe, I'm not gonna do this, but if you were to make a Venn diagram between like the things that a music stand does, or a book stand, or a television show, and a sports fan, it'd be one big fat circle. Sorry. But who gets made fun of? Who gets made fun of? And it's so interesting how one is like mostly full of adults and one is mostly full of children, but who gets made fun of? The children, because they're quote unquote an easier target. I say quote unquote because if they bite back, y'all are gonna go crying. And we see that every single day. Y'all be so stressed out because a kid cleared you on Twitter, shaking and crying. Really? We have no backbone? But do you see how there's like no winning? Do we see that and understand that there's no winning in the situation? Which is why you have to say fuck all these people. Like, I don't know if teenagers watch me, like young teenagers. Just say fuck all these people. It's not like, it doesn't matter at this point. And guess what this creates? Guess what? Because it's not enough. It's not enough that the patriarchy is weaseled into literally every corner of our lives, as under every single book, everything. The patriarchy actually delegates some of its responsibilities via internalized misogyny. So now we have a whole nother beast, a virus actually, a whole virus via internalized misogyny, because now this mentality creates an entirely new beast that runs through already insecure teenage girls like a Tomb Raider. People stop being interested in something or are forced to hide said interest because of what people might think. And it's so funny because as a society that's pushing people to hide their interests, where do people go? If you can't show your interests like in real life, you go online. But they're made fun of that for that. As do you see, there's no winning. There is no winning whatsoever. So this creates the I'm not like other girls mentality, takes full fucking form and robs people of enjoying things. It robs people of having any interest. It robs people of liking music, of reading books, of putting makeup on their face if they want to. Like, it's crazy what actually happens, because now it robs people of being interested in different art forms, because the looming demon, it's a demon behind you, is like, you don't want to be like them, do you? What's wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with having interests and being passionate about them, unless you're a teenage girl. You're not the weirdo. The weirdos are the people trying to make you feel bad for enjoying things because they're miserable. That's who the weirdo is in the situation, okay? And it's continuing this nasty cycle because they weren't allowed to enjoy things when they were young. So now they're like, you guys can. And I wonder why you want to keep this cycle going. This happens with a lot of like just suffering. Why do you want, I suffer too, you have to suffer too. We have to stop. Get my people out of shackles. What is this? What is this? What is this? It doesn't make any sense. How you can do that to a whole other group of people. What? And now you have teenage girls making fun of each other for having interest. That's literally what happened. For having interest at all. Interest in anything at all. And I know people are gonna be like, well, teenage girls are just mean. And I'm, okay, sure. But it definitely doesn't help any matter when this is a society they're growing up in. And also, I would argue the whole thing about teenage girls being bitches and being mean, I would look at how they're treated and sort of view it as some sort of like response to the way they're treated in the society. So like, I'm sorry, I don't like, okay, mean, okay, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. I think grace should be given at this point. I mean, look at what's happening. Look at all this shit that I've just been going through, and it's been like, I don't know, like 12 minutes. So I think like meanness is like a pretty lowball response. Like, calm down. Now you have teenage girls throwing dog shit at each other, and the dog shit was placed in their hand by the patriarchy and told to throw it at. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand, and it's crazy because they'll make fun of someone else for showing their interest publicly, but they'll be in hidden, engaging in the same interest. And in a perfect world, you'd just be able to speak about it freely. And I think I was born in 2000. We talked about fan fiction at school freely. I know that didn't happen like even like 1 or 2 years earlier than me. So I don't know. Times are changing. I don't know what it's like in high school now, but like times have been changing. But there's still certain stuff that it was like, weirdo. But you know, my high school was bizarre, so I don't want to use mine as an example, right? Like things that were literally, that are are literally marketed to teenage girls. They're made fun of. And do you know why things are marketed to teenage girls? Teenage girls make these people so much money. Make them so much money while creating a culture that makes fun of teenage girls for being interested in things. It's so funny how many things are marketed to teenage girls. And why? Because lots of money is to be made when this is your, and can be made when this is your target audience. Teenage girls are smart and passionate about whatever it is they want to be smart and passionate about, and they will put in work, basically free labor, for an entire company, an entire artist, an entire television show. That is what will happen. Teenage girls be putting in more, teenagers in general, be putting in more work and better work actually than whole marketing teams. For books, TV shows, and music artists and movies. Be putting in more work and be doing better work than people who went to college and got degrees for that stuff. Teenage girls, regular like children, there's groups of minors creating and culminating entire communities dedicated to like this one thing that they're all interested in and working together to make it like stronghold. Creating whole like communities within said communities, having different delegated sort of jobs for each person to do. Why wouldn't you capitalize on that? It's easy money. You can do your fake marketing thing, but teenage girls will take you from here to there. From here to there. That's why it's so like bizarre to me how this all happens. So this also like manifests in its way of how people like react to media made for teenage girls. They don't think it can be, or like teenagers in general, they don't think it can be like critically acclaimed. They don't think it can actually be good. And then y'all like to get your haterade goggles and like to hate and just hate on things that teenagers and teenage girls like just because they like it. All of a sudden they can't be enjoying and watching actual good content. It has to be terrible just because of the demographic who enjoys it. You guys are weird. Just a little bit. Do you not see like how that's a little like strange, making fun of the content? It can't be good. There's no way it can be good because a bunch of teenage girls like it. There's no way it can be good. Because I'm like, nobody has a problem marketing to teenage girls. No one has a problem with borderline exploiting a bunch of minors doing work that you pay someone to fake do. No one has a problem with that. But a teenage girl showing interest, showing a passionate interest in something is an issue. And so what happens, it's like, throughout this whole culture, now we're seeing more towards like just like Twitter and like TikTok and stuff, random vitriol is just unleashed onto random teenage girls all over the internet like every single day. Random. So like teenage girls are like easy targets. I'm gonna say that in quotes every single time because let's actually discuss, because if they were to defend themselves as they should and could, they're a bitch because they will clear you. And they think too highly of themselves. So what are they supposed to do? Take your like abuse and move on? No. I encourage you to fight back. Why on earth seeing a teenager on TikTok doing a day in her life made 30-year-olds say they wanted to kill someone is actually beyond me. How old are you? How old are you? I just said 30. You're 30. Seeing a teenage girl make cereal. Yes, cereal. This happened, was last year. This teenage girl making cereal and like nasty kale salads had people who had MySpace accounts fiending and frothing at the mouth. It was the most confusing day of my life because I was like, don't y'all have something to do? Like seriously, I actually feel like you're like not doing a responsibility and instead trying to, and it's so weird. It's so weird because they'll bring a teenager's TikTok to Twitter with the intention of making fun of them for doing teenager stuff. A day in her life? Y'all, did you watch YouTube at all in 2014? This is giving you that much problems? Man, you would have not liked the pretty girl DIY community. Oh my goodness, you must have been having a heart attack every single time Bethany Moda posted. Are you doing okay? No. The answer is no. The answer is no. And as I say random because again, because no one can keep TikToks on TikTok, whatever. I've given up. Whatever. They bring these TikToks onto Twitter with the goal of making fun of people. Like 27-year-olds. The goal of making fun of someone who's 15 years old.
I also see this in the way just like people interact with teenage girls / young adults like 18 to like 20, like 3, like included in that young adult on like an app like Twitter. Why do you have beef with someone who wasn't in high school when you were in high school? Why do you have beef with someone who was born in 2002 and you saw Bill Clinton as one of your presidents? I don't understand that. Like, I need you to really like you are in, okay, it's Twitter beef, pixels and codes, again, pixels and codes with someone like 6-7 years younger than you. Like, I was in 7th grade, we went to go volunteer at like Head Start. That's the age gap. That's the age gap. Y'all are in dead beef with someone over on Twitter. Scary. We also can open the conversation to a conversation that needs to be had about how Twitter is not a safe app for minors and literally never has been. It wasn't when I was 13 and joined Twitter, and it's not any better. In fact, I think it's even worse now. So like I'm wondering when you like, do you like know the ages of the people you have like dead serious beef with? Do you know the ages of people that you're like dunking on and dogpiling on? And I'm saying like, okay, this is for like regular stuff. If something is harmful, if someone is spewing harmful rhetoric, like you can and should call them out for it, like no matter their age. But I'm wondering if you know what you're doing. If you have full on beef with someone, you have to know their age by now. And I still look at you and wonder why you're in beef with someone burned so many years after you. But just in general, I'm like, also, sometimes you can tell by the way they type or like profile pictures and stuff, even though some of like are not of them, but like the way people on Twitter interact with teenagers and young adults in general is just bizarre, but especially for like the minors, which is why I say again, you've got to start checking people's bios before you like just like throw in the swords and knives and everything. If it's not like harmful, it's just stupid. Sometimes they're tweeting stupid shit because they're, guess what, 15. You would know that if you checked the bio. Solve a lot of our issues, because this is a different video, but like Twitter is not a safe app for minors, and it is the responsibility on the adults on Twitter to know who you're interacting with and interact with safely. That's why I also don't get why you are bringing minors TikToks to Twitter when you know how Twitter acts, especially when it's not harmful. When it's not harmful is what I'm talking about. When it is not harmful. You're being a bully. I don't get it. I don't understand. It is another blizzard? What?
And I don't understand. So you do it to random teenage girls that go viral because you are dunking on them. And you do it to already famous teenage girls as well. And I don't get why. You saw, this is weird. It's because, again, I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying you're older. You saw what happened firsthand to the child stars of the 2000s. And the 2010s, like, kind of. So, like, if you ask, like, people care so much, it's like, do you have eyes? Do you see what media has become? What social media has become? There are even more, it's only gotten worse, and there's more direct ways and dangerous things people can do to other people. So why you're continuing to engage in this is literally beyond me. It's beyond me, because I'm not understanding why a grown adult would see that and then continue the cycle. You did it, people did it to JoJo Siwa. People did it to any other girl on TikTok. And they did it to Olivia Rodrigo, the driver's license girl. What did she do to you besides make a song for teenagers? I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. Make a song for teenagers, and now everyone has so much to say. Doesn't make any sense to me. And all of them were to like completely different degrees and for different reasons, like them and like the people on TikTok. And it's not just danger, it's also like Twitter in general seems to have a severe obsession with doing random gotchas on teenage girls and children in general. I don't know what Twitter's obsession is with like hating children and wanting to like gotcha literal elementary school age children, but it's fucking weird. So before someone does something, I'm not saying, no one says you have to like kids. No one says you have to even be around kids. But why are you guys on Twitter at your very big ages trying to gotcha Northwest, who's maybe in the 4th or 5th, one of those 2 grades, for a painting? And I know you did it because of who her mother is, but I'm like, you're not talking to the, I don't know how old that woman is, 40 something. You're talking to a 10-year-old. You're gonna gotcha a 10-year-old. A painting. That was trying to gotcha a 10-year-old who may or may not have painted a paint. That's what you spend your time doing. That is what you spend your time doing. I don't understand. You spend your time picking apart and literally making fun of Jojo Siwa, a 17-year-old, for wearing a bunch of bows and glitter, because that's affecting your life. How? That's affecting your life how? Literally, how is that affecting your life? It's not. It's not. You are 25 years old being annoyed by someone born in 2003. Like, do you hear yourselves? Like, do you hear how bizarre this is? Do you remember, because everyone likes to rewrite history nowadays, what you guys did to Blue Ivy? A child, a literal child, and that was to a degree that was beyond me. That was Twitter too, trying to bully a toddler. A toddler. Why? What? And people would be like, they're famous. And I'm like, they're also children. They're famous. They're also, do you see how you're continuing the cycle that existed like 10, 15 years ago? But you'll watch the documentaries on those children and how they went like, very publicly had some sort of breakdown. But we'll still continue to do this. I don't understand. I don't understand. Well, they're famous. They can take, criticism. Making fun of a 17-year-old for the way that she dresses is not any sort of criticism. At all. At all. At all. That's not, that's why I'm like, I need the people who disguise hate as criticism to understand that the rest of us aren't fucking stupid. Like you. No, you're not critiquing anything. You are literally being a hater. And it's even weirder that you're being a hater to someone who was born like 7, 11 years after you. Alright, a painting. Like a painting. Then you have just like black girls on TikTok, black teenage girls on TikTok who are literally just living their lives as teenagers do, but it's a fucking problem. And then of course the vitriol is worse because they're black. And then when you guys bring these TikToks to Twitter to make fun of them, you open up the floodgates for white supremacist trolls to come in and sick themselves on them. You open the floodgates on these poor kids. I think the very act of bringing teenagers' TikToks to Twitter with the intention of making fun of them is bizarre. But then if it wasn't my intention, I was just trying to have a conversation. There's weirdos on Twitter. You've been on that app for even 2 days. You can recognize that there's weirdos on Twitter. But no critical thinking was involved, even though there's a child involved. No critical thinking. I don't know why TikTokers in general have y'all in a tizzy. I really have no idea. Teenagers, like literal teenagers, and I'm not talking about the racist ones, please, because I know someone's gonna do that. I'm literally just talking about teenagers in general on TikTok. Have you guys in a tizzy? Why you guys have so much smoke? And again, it's fake smoke because, again, they come back at you. Everyone is crying in their rooms. Like a bunch of teenagers have y'all like pissed off, like shaking and crying over people like cracking jokes posts on TikTok, people doing dances. Like, I'm sorry, do you not see how unhinged you are behaving? People born in 2005 have people who were taking pictures in clubs with digital cameras, shaking and crying because they have the audacity to be famous amongst a bunch of kids. You are engaging in unhinged behavior. The reason I'm saying years is because I know, so like I'm 20 and everyone's like, fine. Then I'm like, I was born in 2000 and I get a different face change. So I think people are not understanding how old Gen Z, because Gen Z is not that old, because you would also think with how they're like, we're all children. You would realize that when you're making fun of a generation, you're making fun of a generation mostly comprised of minors. But no, none of it makes it, there's no sense to be had here. So that's why I'm saying years. Maybe it'll click better for you if you hear just how old the people are you're making fun of. Okay? Okay? And I'm like, I would really love to like figure out what happened in your life. What happened in your life? I think it's time for you to unpack this anger. I think it's time. I think it may be time, if you're continuing to do this into your late 20s, to maybe go confront that one teenage girl who made your life a living hell back in 2005. And I'm really sorry about that. I really actually am. You cannot tell by my tone, but I'm very sorry about that. But none of the other like random people who were literally born after you graduated high school are that person. Like, none of them are that person. I would advise you to like drive down the street and go talk to her. If it's really affecting you that you're like 30 plus and seeing a random teenage girl doing a day in her life and eating a kale salad makes you want to literally murder someone. And it wasn't just one person who tweeted that. It was like an entire collective. And I was like, you are unhinged. What? A day in her life. A girl got into her like Toyota Sienna or something and drove to like the gym and all hell broke. I don't like, and I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. Secondly, y'all be women doing this shit. Don't understand that just in general. But then you open the floodgates for incelly, trolly men to come in, and they're like, ooh, a free pass to demolish and stick their Cheeto dust covered fingers into somebody's psyche because of y'all. I don't understand. And then y'all hide your hands and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I wasn't trying to do this. Well, that's what happened. And you knew that because you know Twitter's weird. Like, I don't understand how people who were in college during like Bush's second term are out with pitchforks and knives. The second a teenage girl on the internet does literally anything. Does literally anything. I don't understand how people who were wearing peplum tops to college parties are on the internet poking fun at people born in 2004. For reference, peplum was a thing when I was in 7th grade. I think you guys are pathetic. Like, how do you, I would feel pathetic making fun of someone born in 2004. So I have no idea. Shame. I told you guys it's a lost art form. I brought this up so many times. It needs to come back. I agree you should have no shame about some things, but this is getting out of hand. Because how do you not, you are making fun of people years and years and years and years and years younger than you. I thought we all watched Disney Channel. A very big lesson that they taught us in every single show was pick on somebody your own size. Age is included in that as well. I don't understand. You are making fun of someone who was not like, even in high school when you were in high school. They were in elementary school when you were in high school. What? What? And here's my thing. I think you guys are upset. Sorry. I think you guys are upset because Gen Z be like cooking y'all when we be beefing. And I don't understand. I need to get over that. I'm sorry. It's okay not to be cool. It's okay to not be thought of as being cool by a bunch of 18-year-olds. Like, you will be okay. It's okay. Like, you're almost 30 now. It's okay. You don't have to be cool anymore. You can be cool in like your own realm, but a 15-year-old thinks you're not cool. Oh, it's the end of the world. No, get over it. Like, you're being made fun of the way that you dress by someone who's 16. Aw, go cry about it. Seriously? Seriously? A 17-year-old rages you on Twitter, you're gonna go cry? Really? Really? But they're easy targets, right?
I would also like to bring up, like, a teenager's being mean to me. Well, at least you're not, like, graduating high school in the middle of a pandemic. Thought about that? At least you're not, like, you don't get a senior year of high school. You're not getting a freshman year of college. At least you're not graduating college in the middle of a pandemic. At least you're not going out into the job market in the middle of a pandemic. At least you're not the people who are about to be seniors in college, like, didn't have like the whole middle chunk of their college experience. But a 19-year-old's making you sweat on Twitter. All right.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, again, you'll be making fun of these easy targets, but if they were to come back with the same energy, it's a problem. Then they're being bitches. If any of the teenage girls whose TikToks you bring to Twitter with the intention of making fun of were to get on the internet and tell you to suck a dick, they would be in the wrong. But not the grown adults who are spending their free time instead of, I think tax season's coming up, instead of making spreadsheets and getting their stuff together. You're not in the wrong. That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's actually like really confusing, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest. And I'm like, stay out of kid business. Because the internet, again, is a festering ground for this. A festering ground for this. It's ridiculous. It's out of hand. Because now, like, y'all be in kid business. I have no idea why TikTok dances really make y'all sweat like this. Like, kids doing TikTok dances to a song has everyone being like, good music is lost. Correlation, none. Correlation, 0. Oh, kids are doing dance challenges. Dance challenges. Did you forget your whole child? I'm confused. Like, what is you are grown as fuck now. Like, actually, like, you're grown. You're very, no, okay. Again, you're not old, but like, if you're acting like a hag, what am I supposed to call you? This is out of hand. This is out of hand. Grown as hell. And again, I'm not talking about when like you call like minors out on their, I'm not saying you can't like, if a minor is being a bigot, girl, who cares, say whatever you want. But that's not what I'm talking about here. Right? That's not what I'm talking about here. Is that clear? I don't understand. There are pictures of you in college with like with the leggings with a bunch of crosses on them, but you're involved in business of people who are seniors in high school. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't. Not to me. No, it doesn't. So they're like, teenagers are annoying. Oh, look at that. Teenagers are annoying? Color me shocked. 15-year-olds are aggravating? Oh, maybe if you stayed out of kids' business, you wouldn't be annoyed. A teenager is annoying. Man, you have really, that's a revelation beyond my fact. You weren't annoying when you were 15. Don't even answer that, because I can go talk to anybody. You were 15, so of course you were. How if you would stay out of kid business, you wouldn't be annoyed by kids. 2 + 2 = 4. "25. Shaking and crying over TikTok dances." It's getting weird. It's getting weird. Sorry, I won't, this isn't happening anymore. So yeah, that's it in my video. So that was me talking about whatever the title is going to be. Talking about society's hatred of teenage girls. Based in misogyny, of course. The vitriol increases, you know, based on different demographic factors. Imagine being a black teenage girl in 2013. Was not fun. But we're ending the cycle now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Stop it. I would really encourage you to go talk to the one that made your life a living hell in middle school, high school. I'm very sorry that happened to you, but none of these people on the internet are that person. None of them are that person. Maybe, you know, didn't Oprah used to do a thing where you would write a letter and not send it? I think that would be really beneficial actually now. If maybe you're not a fan of confrontation, I think that might work out better for you. To write a letter and not send it to anyone. Let's do that. Yeah, that's my treatment option. Go do that. Because this is getting out of hand. And then, because I'm like, the whole teenage girls are mean. Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. But sometimes when men be saying that, I'm like, what really happened? Not that I don't think maybe you were bullied, because that's a very high possibility. But did someone reject you? What's going on here? What's going on here? Did someone reject you in 10th grade? What's going on here? Don't like that. Don't like, again, Twitter, an app for projection. We've discussed that numerous times, but this is out of hand. These are children. Stop it. Okay, I've been talking for too long. So yeah, that is the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go have fun, enjoy yourself on there. And while you're here, check out some of my recent videos that should be on your screen now. Yup. I hope you're staying healthy and safe. I heard Texas is going through a lot of stuff right now. I hope you guys get power again. I saw the videos that, I mean, no, that's just scary. So I wish Texas the best. Heat and power and warm vibes towards you. And yeah, if everyone's staying healthy and safe inside their homes, because we are still in a pandemonium, which, you know, I think why these issues are like tenfold, because now you have nothing else to do besides scroll on TikTok for 10 hours, and then you see something that bothers you, which is someone, a teenage girl, merely existing in a hobby, and you bring that to Twitter and have your 30-year-old followers dunk on her. And then when one person quotes it, like, why are you making fun of a teenager? Aren't you 30? All of a sudden, I don't know what you're talking about. Can I just have my opinions? No. No. My answer to that is no, you cannot. Because if this is what your opinion is, telling someone you're gonna kill someone over someone eating a kale salad, you cannot have opinions. I think it's time to ban them from, sorry. You can't have opinions. You brought that onto yourself. All right? So yeah, that's in my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.